Hi, Aryan. How are you?
I'm good. How
Hi,
are
how
you?
are you? Good.
So, the tech world is often perceived as a male dominated. So, what kind of challenges do women entrepreneurs typically face when entering or scaling in this space?
I would say is the tech is a very much younger market than all the other markets, and the reason why tech is so male dominated is the preparation to really build code and take the code to market. Uh, the the preparation for women does not exist early in their high school years and then the college years, and also there is a taboo on whether women can go and do this kind of work. So there's a multiple things, a societal and cultural thing that happens, and even when you go, usually you're being asked for, you don't belong here. So those kind of multiple things that stop you from going into an industry where it is men heavy, right? Or like I would say is more dominant market, but led by men. But if you think about, we are like 40 years into the industry, if you think about it. But if you look at 100 years from now, things will change because of AI. I personally believe is you really don't need to code. You need to know how to innovate. And this is where women, if they are getting skilled and they're preparing themselves, they will be able to really take this technology and democratize their access into um, positioning themselves that they can be a very strong contributor in the tech ecosystem, because the dependency of getting certified with computer engineering will no longer be important. The more will be important is, can you stitch different technologies together and really drive a solution in the market? And I think that is something women can naturally bring to the table. So I'm more optimistic than not optimistic. It's just the requirements to enter tech was different, but now with AI, the requirements to enter tech is going to be different.
Okay, so what kind of barriers did you personally face in your early tech career, be it bias, access, or an opportunity?
Um, for me personally, I would say is based on however I was prepared, I was given access to. Um, I got very lucky early in my years, in my tech years, to have really very good sponsors and also very good access to the right set of opportunities, because I had very good sponsors, and it's really based on the relationships I built. So for me early on, because I was the youngest director at Oracle, so for me to be in the Oval Office of Oracle and in my 20s, no one has even heard of. So I was able to get there. But as you age and as you kind of become a mother and you are in a tech, what happens is there are multiple barriers that comes in, because once you get to a director and you want to get to a vice president, there's a lot of biases that comes in. One is color, one is language, one is access, one is sponsorship, one is just not knowing how what the new currency needs to be played, because you're a doer, and from doer you have to really move the needles, and you need to learn how to consolidate and save money, and the P&L skills that you need. That is where most of the time you struggle with, which is the economic ROI that you can contribute to the company. Is when that is where probably my preparation skills is what I personally felt was something always was lacking to what I really needed. But from a relational stuff, I think that's always opened up the doors for me. So when I look at it, is when every woman who I work with, everyone has a different bias. But for me, was my personal preparation skills, because I was not trained, and if I don't know how to navigate the terrain of going from director to vice president, and how the money moves within the company and how to consolidate stuff, the politics behind the work. If you don't know that, you will definitely will get hurt, right? So you just will not get the output that you need.
Okay, so how has the landscape changed for women in tech over the past 10 years? Like, where is it still lacking?
Hmm. I think there's some places we have made really good progress. There's some places we have not made good progress. If we talk about where we have not made good progress, access to funding, to innovation as a founder, that place is not changed. So you do not have access to funding. So that's just like the biggest barrier. Second is access to technologies that does not exist right now for women easily. So when you don't have access to technology, you cannot get prepared because it's very expensive. You may think AI is cheap, but it's really not cheap, right? The third one is access to corporate networks to really build your big contracts. That has that is also a barrier, right? So that's a barrier for women. So those are the kind of the big things. And the last one is access to the executive and entrepreneur skilling that is missing today for women. So if you don't have those two skills, you really cannot build a business. You really need to learn how to build a business within the company and outside the company. That does not exist. So when you look at it, those are kind of the barriers. Now, when you come back, what has really worked well, you see is more and more skilling programs are available in the market. There are more and more mentors that are available in the market. There are more and more role models that are going available. And there are more communities available for women to go and join, which was not existed 10 years ago. There was hardly any communities. Now we have 3,200 women communities in tech in the last 10 years. So I think it's just going to get better. But with the current economic climate, anything can change. So we don't know how many years we'll go back or how many years we'll move forward, depending upon the geopolitical situation and also the rate of how the technology will accelerate. And do we have access to tech? Do we have access to money? Do we have access to the entrepreneurial skills? And do we have access to big contracts to work on?
Okay, so do you think that the tech industry is truly committed to diversity, or are we still at the stage of symbolic inclusions?
The tech is committed to democratizing technology. And when you think about democratization of technology, that means everyone is included, everyone is invited to participate, everyone is uh, um, uh, asked to be part of the economic game plan. Nobody's going to give you anything to be served on the plate. You have to put in your effort. You have to get ready. You have to innovate and you have to contribute. Until that doesn't happen, if everyone doesn't show up with that level, the tech, whether it's tech ecosystem or a non-tech ecosystem, I think the opportunity will never come to you. So it's really up to each individual what is the right mindset they bring to the table and how they show up and how they contribute to the society, and then the doors will open up for them.
So you have had a powerful journey from being a homemaker to becoming a globally recognized tech entrepreneur. So can you just walk us through that transformation?
Um, this question everyone keeps asking me. I don't know how to answer that. I personally feel is um, I believe that I need to have economic access and power at all times. That's how I've been born. That's what I've been taught. So whether I was a housemaker, I knew my P&L at home and I would save and I would invest and I do. And then I realized I outgrew my housewife role and I realized is I have a lot of time to do it. And US, being in US, it allows me to do it because there's a lot of automation available around you. So that kind of helped me to get into the workforce. Again, I outgrew every role. And I feel like the place when people say you have become a global icon, I humbly say thank you for seeing me that way. I feel is the work is not done. There's a lot of democratization we need to do for probably another 100 years as the technology is evolving, because we are entering a Star Trek era, and none of us have actually know what this is going to look like. So, thank you for acknowledging me. I appreciate it.
So, what was the turning point in your life when you decided to re-enter or enter this workforce with a focus on technology? And also, how did you gain the technical knowledge or business confidence to co-found major platforms like Women in Cloud?
Um, Ask me the first part of the question, the first
Right.
question that you asked me.
Yeah. So, what was the turning point in your life when you decided to re-enter or enter the workforce with a focus on technology?
As I said, the inspiration started with really in 1995, knowing that um, Windows 95 can democratize access to a billion people to personal computing, that every human being have access to personal computing. And I think that curiosity got me into the tech. And I think I can see invisible code better than very many people on the planet. I can contextualize what the change can look like. I can see how a tech can drive someone's identity. I can see tech, how it can transform, a workflow or a journey for someone. And I think when you look at all those things, I think you have a unique superpower to see tech. And I love tech because it's something I just enjoy it. And I'm a workaholic, so I love all of it. Then you look at it, it's like it's ingrained in our life. And I don't know, I can take Chaitra and tech out of each other. It kind of comes in. Because I'm an engineer, I know how to reverse engineer anything. And then when you look at software, it is probably the fastest way to put a workflow and automation together to get anything done. So that I think is probably that gets you excited to use the technology. And with AI, I think it's revolutionary, but also scary at the same time. Now, coming to there was a second part of the question you had is I answered you why I got into tech. What was the second question? It's pretty late in the night, so.
How did you gain the technical knowledge or the business confidence to co-found major platform like Women in Cloud?
Got it. How did I do it? I think because when you work on very big projects at enterprise companies, it always give you the confidence because you know what the operational excellence looks like. What does the people excellence look like? What does the right offer looks like? So if you think about all the pieces to create $1 billion of economic impact, you know what are all the what do you call it, the ingredients that you need, the superpower you need, and the people you need. I think I know how to assemble those people together. I know how to take the collective action and also raise money. I used to have my executive, Eduardo Rossini, and I was talking to him. I said, you asked me to really democratize $1 billion of economic impact. How are we going to do it? He said, well, it'll start with one activation at a time. It's not going to be like $1 billion just will flow. You need to have a right offer, and we need to do one activation at a time. So by the time you get to the 1,000 activation, you'll see you have accomplished your goal. And he was so spot on, so true, because every activation, there's a group of people who are coming and working together to do something, whether it's an event, whether it's a skilling, whether it is a clinic, or whether it is a demo, whatever that looks like, there's an activations that needs to happen. And the more number of people who are activating on a platform and you make it easy for them to do, you can do anything. Like Women in Cloud is one of that go-to-market engine that is created for creating multiple activations in the world.
Okay, so how does your experience influence the way you lead and support other women through Women in Cloud?
So, Women in Cloud's mission is to democratize $1 billion of economic access. So, our three pillars that we do is a workforce development. So, it consists of two components. The first component is focused on technical certifications. So, whether it's AI, cyber, or cloud, you have to get them certified. Basic fundamental knowledge. Once you're certified, you need to also acquire your leadership skilling, which allows you to innovate within an organization and communicate. So that's our pillar. So we have a lot of programming around that. We have a DevSecOps programming. We have a cybersecurity programming. We have a global skilling programming. We have an AI innovation challenge and an insider circle. So these are all the programs that exist right now for the workforce development. The second component is the founder track, which is all about founders that they want to build a company and they want to take a solution and then they want to acquire customers. So we are leveraging the cloud marketplaces because that is the new future. So we ensure that they have the right go-to-market, a co-launch plan, and the right kind of the board that you have so that you can actually build $1 million business very quickly with cloud. The third area is we have advocacy work, which is focused on visibility and focused on storytelling and policy advocacy. So we have awards platform, we have a movie platform, and we also have a wellness platform, which allows women to kind of experience and connect and be together while celebrating and taking care of themselves. So those are how the programming works.
Okay, so what kind of tech innovation excites you the most right now, especially in the AI and cloud space?
What technology? I would say the thing which excites me in the AI is the whole AI factory model right now, right? The AI factories is what gets me excited because everything can be tokenized and then you can connect all these tokens to create different programs, and that is kind of the future. And the place which I like, which is the agentic AI and the physical AI component of it. Um, but I also am afraid that there is no regulation today. So I am not comfortable giving my credit card to an AI to do my shopping, to do whatever it needs to do. I'm just not there. I still want is a AI, like assisted AI model or a thought leader who works with me on in a way that will make me a superpower. I just don't want to give my power away to a tech without knowing how the governance is. After watching the movie Control, I am a little bit more like I have a lot of strange thoughts about giving the consent to a technology to take over all the workflows in my life. Not yet. Maybe one day. But I like where it is heading, that I will have time to do some really cool innovations in the market and also maybe invest more time in building a fund and being with people more.
Okay, so you have pioneered models like the 4G causal GTM method. So, how do frameworks like these help entrepreneurs scale in a competitive tech market?
So the 4P co-cell GTM method was really born out of a necessity. What I observed, working with hundreds of partners when they were struggling to scale with Microsoft in a co-cell ecosystem, not because they lacked innovation, but because they lacked go-to-market readiness and cohesion. So the core challenge that we see right now in the market is very fragmented. The offers are created in isolation with the product teams and the product marketing teams. Promotions are usually outsourced to agency without the ecosystem context on why the promotions are created. Publicity is always treated as an afterthought. They're like, why do we need a press release, or do I need the publicity? Partnerships are focused, but they are rarely focused on joint co-launches that actually move the needle. So the result of this fragmentation is a lot of the companies waste money, time, rests on really the disjointed efforts that failed. So because I've done a lot of the go-to-market programming in the past, what I've seen that when you were able to bring all the four P's, which is the product offer, the promotions, the publicity, and partnership, to provide an overarching strategy that is simple and repeatable, it really enables the company to execute a go-to-market game plan quarter by quarter without getting frustrated. So the focus is on visibility through structured distribution, generate a qualified demand, and also convert that demand into predictable revenue without wasting. So one of the great example is when Women in Cloud, when we partnered with Microsoft to do a Guinness World Record on the AI skilling, we implemented the 4P model. So we not only set the record, but we prepared like 1,000 individuals with AI credentialing. We also drove like amazing global publicity. We created like huge partnerships through the process, and it was structured. The power of that structured experience was very human-centered GTM, and it really helped all the people to come together. So I personally feel is when you bring all the four together, that's when you can create a human-centric go-to-market experience, and that method works for me. And every time I've done, the success is pretty high. I'm pretty happy about the outcome of the framework that we have built.
Okay, so last question is what advice would you give to women with non-tech backgrounds who aspire to enter this space and lead?
What advice? Advice is a very big word, but I'll give some perspectives for people to think through. I think with the AI being here, it's really important for you to look into getting skilled on that technology, not be afraid of it, not be thinking about this is not for me. No, it is for everyone. So if you're using electricity, you should be using AI. Just basic. You just need to know how to operate it, how it works, how does the consent works, and how does this technology is used for either giving you access to banks or giving access to your insurance or giving access to your healthcare. You need to know this technology because this technology is used for automating all these services. Not knowing that, and if you're in that system, you'll get very frustrated. That's the first. The second thing is being part of some kind of an innovative experience, whether it's a hackathon, it is a pitch challenge. Just go and see how you can do that kind of work. In the best way I suggest is find one community which is focused on lifting you up and be part of that in that community for 3 years. So invest in that leadership of giving and contributing in the ecosystem. And the third one is being very clear what your ultimate career goal looks like a year from now or 3 years from now in an economic number term, like the economic terms, not just, oh, I want to be, a senior manager. No, you should know how much money you're going to make, how you're going to make it, what does that look like, what are the skills I need to achieve that. And you should have is a very structured pathway for it, and ensure that you have the right, board of advisors, I would say a personal board of advisors that you're developing, and you're building really good relationship. No relationship, no career growth. No career growth, no economic power. So it's just very, very structured. So ensure that you're building the right access for yourself and for others, and you'll be very successful in tech. Tech is probably the most welcoming industry if you're ready to contribute.
Okay, so thank you, Chaitra, for sharing your story, your strength, and your strategy with us today. We are living proof that women can define the future of technology, not just participate in it. To everyone watching, follow Women in Cloud, join the movement, and remember, innovation needs inclusions. See you next time.